Smelly Man. Once again, we in the lab. We got AC Baba Louie, and we got his artist. Tell him your name, bro.
Brand B.
Brand B, man.
Brand
Where
B.
you originally from?
Born in South Carolina, adopted, lived in Los Angeles my whole life.
Yo, what's up? My name is Create from Los Angeles, California, from Rockin' the Nation crew, West Coast artist, the Last to Survive crew, and I'm also part of the New York connection of the Magnificent Team, TNT crew.
And my name is Oxrox. I'm from AWR. Grew up in West LA.
What does AWR stand for?
All Rights Reserved or Artwork Rebels. Has many different meanings.
Okay.
Where I grew up was several gangs. There was 18th Street. You had West Side Locals. You had Culver City on this side. Helms Gang. Sawtell. You know, all the West LA gangs.
What's up, man? Good Duke over there, man. Something.
You nervous?
Nah, man. I'm just getting it together because I woke up so early in the morning, like I do. So right now it's almost noon. To me, it's like 5 o'clock. You know what I mean? Already, I do things.
All right. Now you ready, bro?
Okay.
The biggest group in the country is over there near El Paso.
Damn.
Get up. You have? Are you feeling right?
No, not yet.
No, you're gonna. So we're gonna have to.
Introduce yourself, man.
Freddie DeMarco. You know what it is.
We got the OG Hen G gonna ask you some questions about your music, man.
Shout out to Head. That Fro.
What's the best angle when you ask?
Sit right here.
No, so you're looking over here, right?
Okay, well, I'm Mark 7. Los Angeles Soul King, Last to Survive, Rockin' the Nation, LTS RTN, crew, Soul King's crew, Los Angeles.
Now, in terms of Mark 7, I've heard of Mark 7 back in 1986.
I met Mark 7 in early 90.
If you wrote, you was in West LA, you wanted to be up like soon, cause he was like I say, he was like the king, like Venice and Pico, all of that shit. He had that shit like all the way to the beach, all the way, you know what I'm saying?
Mid City to West LA.
Yeah, he had that shit.
Throw ups, pieces,
all of that shit.
It's all good.
So,
I look at it with him soon because I looked at it like he was a hater. J. Cool introduced me. J. Cool lived over there by Will on Wheels. He introduced me to Soon. He did it in the backyard by the homie Gimmick's house. He's like, look, we all gonna go smoke. We gonna go try to go running. Soon as like, you know, smoking, they having they politicking, they talking. He acting like we don't exist. We right here next to him. He smoking our weed with us. Okay? Then, you know, we ain't gonna pressure him. We just trying to chill and catch the night. So we just kind of vibing. And then he just kind of did one of these like, and just wrote his name. And then that was it. Like fuck y'all. Like that's what you get. And it was like, it wasn't no kind of, you know, we heard of this whole New York niggas be teaching niggas the ropes and whatever. So, by the time Soon slept on me, and by the time he was doing whatever else, we was still building on our shit. Whether it was working on our rhymes, whether it was working on painting, whatever it was, we was trying to live hip hop, and we did. And ultimately, it's what put Mid-City and Midtown on the map. It's what, you know what I mean, whether it was through the music later in the early 90s, Good Life, Project Blow, or whether it was with the graffiti from the mid 80s forward, what we did, you know what I mean? That's how Mark 7 made his name, so. Yeah.
What was Soon's influence over LA graffiti?
Style and authenticity. Because see, everybody got into it like shit, like kids get into shit, you know what I mean? We read the walls. So whether it was gang writing or whether it was graffiti writing, what intricate style was in the smallest tag or what flair was in the biggest tag. And that nigga got on there like a motherfucking, man, he had his skill. It was almost to the point where you might say, well, damn, well, how did he do it? What kind of cap did he use?
Then I found out that they got 30 different caps that you can use, and you know, hanging out in the garage trying to figure out these caps, you know, like I just used a New York Fat for everything, and now they got skinny caps, universals and all this stuff. And then I started looking at things on Instagram, And I think at the time I had a Facebook or MySpace, and I posted a picture, and no, I think it was Instagram, and I got flooded with old school writers, friends, people I hadn't seen since we were 11, 12 years old, and I'm here again. And you know, like I said, working at schools. Over the years, I would, you know, meet young writers, and of course, since not being active, you know, they respect you but don't really respect your word. But now being active again, like it's, you know, young artists that are trying to find their way that I work with, you know, and so I kind of tell them the history of it, which nowadays you notice in most recent cultures, history's lost. So then you have these weird perversions of what the true art form is. And so for me to be able to teach young people and tell them how I came up, art politics, tell them stories about Mark 7 and writers, Design 9, Shiver, and, you know, first time I met Prime, and, you know, all these different stories is good for the younger generation so they can tell our stories later.
The authenticity was just so real. So then, not only did you see that flair in his bubble letters, and niggas couldn't even get bubble letters together on paper, and here he is just doing it as like a signature, like, done. And it looked like a snake with a fucking tail rolling. That motherfucker was cold.
So he didn't. A lot of people think Dream was Samoan, but what was he?
Yeah, he was Filipino. Because when Dream used to come, he came to all our shows. I mean, he came to all our events. And Dream he used to dress just like us. They thought he was one of the Booyah. He'll come with the county jacket, you know, the Booyah braids, the bandana tie. You know, he had all the rubber bands, the war braids. But the thing about Dream, when you see his county jacket in the back, he used to bomb it. You know, with a certain kind of, you know, he used to bomb that back in those days when they used to bomb the back of their jackets, you know, the jean jackets, you know, like the New York style. But Dream was the first one I seen did a county jacket. And that's when he did one for Gangsta Red when we went to Europe. If you see our video, Psycho Funk, Red's wearing the county jacket, and right here, this whole side is hit up with all like it's a gangster mouse with a cane, with some biscuit, with spat with a brim on this whole side. Dream did it. You know.
How far you think Dream go back with the hip hop?
When it first arrived in LA, early 80s, okay. Yeah, around 83, 82. When it first arrived, he was the first one from Carson to representing, and his name, you can see his art. You know, if you roll that 110 freeway to that 405, you see them alleys, you see that big old piece. Dream was, Dream was, he represented Carson to the fullest, you know what I mean?
What's this you stand in front of?
This is a little dedication that I did to my girl.
Gave him the name, you know, I told him how the hood go, tell him, you know, all the foul shit, you know, taught him about a lot of shit before he, you know, had to lace him on the hood, about the hood before, let him know what he was about to venture off into, like it wasn't all what, it ain't all what it look like, it ain't all what it look like, you know what I mean? So like I said, talked to him for a couple days, laced him on the hood, how the hood go, gave him the rules, the regulations, Cuz went down, got put on, squabbled up, filmed, did his stuff.
When did Sauce and Boys come into play? Who came up with that concept?
Honestly, I came up with the concept in like 04, maybe like summer 04. Clowning around with Nip and my other big bro, Baby Gooch.
We're at ground zero where it all started, bro.
Yeah, when did you meet Nip?
Man, I don't know the year, but I know Nip was about 13, like 8th grade summer. Gutter right now, man, a little ashy, but it's one of the first All Money In tests, man. After we first heard it, All Money In, we like, all right.
Well, now you're talking about it, where'd that name even come from? How did he facilitate that name?
I was saving money and I was pouring out. I was like, oh, nigga, that's where you keep your money at? He's like, I gotta get me one of them. So I gave it to him. It's a giant Heineken bottle. I gave it to him. He started saving his money in there. He's like, I ain't taking no money out of there. So when I first heard all money in, no money out, I was like, that's where he got it from. Like how you save money, you put it in the bank, and don't take it out at all.
When I met him, he had a flat top and an African medallion on. Nigga, it wasn't no jury. My nigga still had the old, and at this time, the African shit had been played out. Like, niggas wasn't wearing the leather African medallions and shit. My nigga still had one on. With the Gumby. Old hood.
Wait a minute, who had a Gumby?
Dip.
My nigga.
Love you, bro. Old hood, I knew that was you sitting right there.
Yeah, I was talking about
What y'all finna eat?
It's okay, man.
It's my nigga Robin Hood, man.
Neighborhood.
You know what I'm saying?
Do you remember the first time you met Nip, bro?
Yep. I remember the first time I met Cuz. Like Cuz you said, Cuz had a flat top, had a fade. And
Looking like Special Ed?
Looking like Special Ed. Skinny as a motherfucker, tall.
African medallions.
And I'm not sure if we was at this gas station or we was on 58. And then we was talking about music. It was just like a regular conversation.
Well, bear claws.
And then he came around, you had ball cuts around the claws, and that's when he jumped on the claustrophobic shit.
Yeah, so did 2 projects.
Wait a minute, Nip's on the claustrophobic album?
Hell yeah. Smoking that La La La.
Man.
And that was in what we did that.
Me and Nip redid a Jay-Z record.
Yeah, hard as fuck.
Back then.
Hard as fuck. For real produced it. Right?
Yep.
For real produced. Cuz was buying his own equipment. You know, everything he talked about in his music, he was really doing it in real life. So a nigga just knew with Cuz, it was just a matter of time. It was a matter, you know, about the right people that believed and understood his vision as big as it was to take it and put it to the mainstream. And the sad thing about it was, through all the situations that he had, through all the people that he knew, it took him to do it with the right situation and the right backing. Another nigga couldn't see his vision because it was too wild for him. They couldn't handle it. Real shit. So
they gotta be built for this shit.
You gotta be built for that shit. For real.
When did you realize that Nip was gonna be a star? When did you see it?
Well, I heard some of his music. I was in the studio laying some tracks, and I heard one of his tracks with him and Cousin. They did a song. Then I heard a couple songs they did at Butter Vision, and once I heard him, you know, I stopped doing what I was doing. You know, I was a rapper, but I can rap. But Cuz had the natural talent. He was a poet. You know, so I said, you know what, I'm gonna stop doing what I'm doing. I focused on Cuz. You know, and I just promoted him. I promoted him because he was the one. You know, I felt it. Like if he made the right moves, like I felt in life, if I'd have made the right moves, I could have been the one. I didn't make those moves, so I didn't want Cuz to make the same mistakes I made. So.
We was going to school together though. I used to see him in passing, but it was another friend we had named Jermaine. I was actually on 58th on my bike, and I bumped into him down the street, and I recognized him. I'm like, don't you go to Hamilton? He's like, yeah, I go to Hamilton with Ermias. And then we rode from right here to 60th and Rampart. Went to Ermias' house, and he introduced me to Ermias. You know what I mean? And we've been locked in since then. You know what I'm saying? And then Ermias actually took me to the Watts Towers. You know what I mean? He invited me to that Watts Towers program where we learn how to make music. You know what I'm saying? And we would be thugging in high school, you know, doing what we do, you know, knocking the bitches and, you know what I'm saying, fucking with the girls, you know what I'm saying, getting fresh, you know what I'm saying, shopping at Ross and, you know what I'm saying, trying to get the fly clothes, you know what I'm saying, doing all the, you know, regular young nigga shit. We really kind of understood we wanted to do music at that time. Like we wanted to be rappers. That was like our dream, you know. Hip hop, you know what I'm saying. Hip hop really took an influence on our life at that time. We was like real serious about it. Cause when we started going to the Watts Towers, we started playing with them MPCs and all them tracking machines. That shit really turned us out. You know what I'm saying?
So the music shit came before 60 shit.
For sure. I didn't even realize I grew up in the 60s yet. You feel me? It was kind of like, I didn't even realize that this was the hood.
Naive.
Yeah, I didn't even realize this was the hood like that. Until I met like Cuzzy and Gooch, and them niggas started really laying it on me like, nigga, this the hood. You feel me?